dig's complete. Professor Gustav, to think there was a cavern beneath the amphitheatre. Isn't this a momentous discovery?
It's practically the greatest find of our century!
This is f***ing ridiculous. That was my first reaction to this game, followed closely by the question, who even comes up with this stuff? Because out of all the strange concoctions the video game industry formulates on a regular basis, this one struck me as even more bizarre than usual. It's like Professor Layton meets Pokémon. What is this? I mean, 1 second you're walking through some kind of underground cavern, and then you're solving a puzzle, and suddenly you're in a turn-based battle with an ancient Pokemon that lives inside a freaking chalice or something. And all this takes place within a story that feels like an anime version of Indiana Jones. Perhaps f***ing ridiculous understates the f***ing ridiculousness of Dr. Lautrec and the Forgotten Knights for the Nintendo 3DS.
Extra, extra! Prof. Gustav's great discovery!
Yes, I'll take one.
Thank you kindly, sir. Here's one for you. Secret rooms discovered at the Ars Amphitheatre. Could this be the greatest archaeological find of the 19th century?
Released in late 2011, Dr. Lautrec tells the story of, believe it or not, Dr. Lautrec. He's an adventurer who hates adventurers, but more importantly, he's this brilliant guy who is world-renowned for his intellect and puzzle-solving acumen. Dr. Lautrec also has an assistant with a British accent, and girls with British accents are cute.
Oh, Doctor! What on earth are you doing?
What's a lot less cute, unfortunately, are games too heavy on cutscenes, and this is one of them. Dr. Lautrec has some very well done cinematics that look more like a cartoon than cutscenes from a video game, but the problem is they're just too long and just too many. You get a cutscene followed by some talking heads, followed by a cutscene, followed by a nap. So you're on the chase for this super important treasure, but the map is full of these riddles and puzzles. You have to solve those, obviously, but that also means the map doesn't actually tell you where to go. So you spend a massive amount of time simply walking around, listening to endless dialogue, and talking to other characters. And it is extraordinarily monotonous, but once you do reach the next destination on your quest, that is, if you last that long, you end up in a dungeon, and in those dungeons, you solve more puzzles and avoid enemies, like you're sneaking into Hyrule Castle. And it's at the end of those dungeons that you get the turn-based Pokemon battles, which you must win to capture the living relics. Translation? Yeah, f***ing ridiculous. This game is like a really bad progressive metal band that just throws a bunch of random riffs from a bunch of different genres together without any sense of composition. It sounds like a jumbled mess, and that's what Dr. Lautrec's gameplay is like. You move from one thing to another and never really understand why, though one thing is certain, it's seemingly never for the purposes of fun. Now, of course, there are some good things about Dr. Lautrec. For starters, this game is superbly made. The presentation is sharp, the voice acting is fantastic, and I love all the historical facts woven into the game's well-written dialogue, but there's just too much. And when you do get to play, it's like the game doesn't know what to do. And for all it does well, that makes Dr. Lautrec and the Forgotten Knights a forgettable experience.
Run for it! What's wrong with you two? Just get after them now! Yeah, must not.